What's going on, guys? Episode 4. Today we got JC DeSaveur here. Absolute rodeo star. Give Dale Brisby a run for his money. Second generation rancher, but rodeo star by day. This is his rodeo rig, and today we're going to talk about everything's rodeo, all things rodeo rigs, and everything in between. But, oh yeah, just check out that first gen. I mean, come on now. I mean, if that ain't a rodeo rig, I don't know what is. But enjoy the show. All right, JC, first guest here on Two Gun Podcast. No pressure or anything. Thanks for being our mule. So we finally got, actually, if you haven't noticed, I'm actually blinded a little bit. We might have to turn them down. But we got studio lighting. We're just a bunch of broke cowboys trying to figure out this technology thing. But anyhow, JC, what do you want to say about the whole rodeo world? I mean, maybe highlights or, what's the best thing about being a rodeo cowboy?
I'm kind of on my last legs of it in my career as far as bronc rider. I'm 41 years old. I mean, I dare say I ain't got probably but a few more years left in me, but I think it's awesome and amazing to watch the amount of change in my career and progression, and then just to watch the sheer amount of young men, like young, that are riding so well and like ultra competitive. And like when I kind of came around, there was always that element, but there was guys that were older that were still like dominant, and that has largely seemed to kind of phase out. Like, instead of, just for an example, like instead of having guys like 28 to 35, now it's 20 to 27. Like it has just became literally that much more competitive, and it's not just the contestants, the sheer number of quality of bucking horses, like the numbers of them, like there's more of them, better breeding, genetics, like it's pretty crazy.
Who's your favorite stock to get on?
Man, you're kind of putting me on a pressure. Can I stay out of Montana?
You can stay out of Montana. Not including Montana, then.
Well, Powder River has a bunch of good stuff. I mean, Kessler has stuff. J-Bar J has an exorbitant amount of bucking horses, good stuff. I mean, and I know all them guys and friends with them. And I'll leave somebody out, but like when I was younger, like when you'd go to Utah or even into Wyoming or Arizona, when Bartee was still a thing, they sold, but like they had good stuff. And then like Big Bend Flying 5, you got over into the Columbia River circuit, had good stuff, or still does.
So here's a question for you. So kind of getting off the topic of rodeo stock. We know you've traveled a long way for rodeoing. Where do you think your furthest rodeo you've gone to was, and what was your favorite one?
Well, I know where the furthest one was. Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Holy shit.
And
That's a long
I was in Texas. That was, I think, the second winter I wintered down there. This is over 10 years ago, but flew out of Houston, and Barnes they're out of the Great Lakes circuit. They had that rodeo, but flew into Philadelphia, got picked up by not Blaze Hammaker, but one of his brothers, Ty Hammaker, rode bulls good. And then Townsend Prince from Colorado. We met up in Philadelphia at the airport. A friend of his picked us up, took us to Atlantic City. I don't think Townsend and I even want to check. Townsend might have placed. I didn't. Ty won the bull riding. And we almost got kicked out of some resort. I mean, it's like a mini Vegas. But we were encouraging Ty to climb this humongous palm tree. And then there was a miniature choo-choo train that went above the bar. And we were trying to get him to jump from the palm tree onto the train and ride it around. And he was climbing the tree. I'm not shitting you. And I remember I was seeing what was going on, and I got hungry, and I was like, I'm going to go get something to eat. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And
You didn't want to watch him jump off a tree?
no, I did, but I was hungry. And he'd won the bull riding, so he was buying our bar tab that night. I mean, we were buddies, and I woke up in a booth in some restaurant in a mall, and the gal was like, "Did you enjoy your nap, Cowboy?" And I was like, "Yeah, where the hell am I?" And she was like, "Well, you're here, whatever." And so I pay my bill or whatever and throw her a tip. And in Atlantic City, New Jersey, you can't buy like Copenhagen or Skull. It's non-existent.
What do they have?
Cigarettes. So I walk out of there and I'm looking for my friends and I don't even know where the hell I'm at. I mean, it's like I time traveled. And I get out of there and I just walk, and you're on the boardwalk. The Atlantic Ocean's right there. And so I go down there and sit down, but somewhere along the way I bought a pack of Marlboro 100s. Then
Brother.
sitting there
Brother,
drinking whiskey.
hundreds.
Drinking whiskey, smoking hundreds, and watching this choppy ocean. And there's this older surfer guy sitting there, and he's just watching waves. And I sit down beside him, and I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm just watching." I said, "You gonna get out there?" And he's like, "Nah, it's shit." You know, and there were some other people out there surfing. And so I shook his hand. We got introduced each other, and I'm like, well, I better find my friends. And I still have no clue where I'm at. So I head back towards town, and I try to find Copenhagen wherever I go, and I'm drinking double 7.7s or whatever, smoking cigarettes. And I walk into literally a marathon, the start of one. There's all these people jogging in place, and I'm smoking a cigarette, drinking whiskey, and like, what in the hell is going on? And this guy with a bullhorn looks at me and goes, "You in this thing, Cowboy?" And I was like, "No, I'm just trying to find my friends." And he laughed. I walked off, and I tried to check into a hotel that we weren't even staying at. And
What the people would give to see him just take off
I'd
right
pay
down
good
the
money
street.
for that.
yeah, no,
I'd pay for that.
Stick out like a sore thumb. So I walk into this hotel, and I try to check in, and they're like, "Well, what's the name of the room under?" And I said, "Well, I think it's under Barnes." And they're like, "There's nobody staying here under this name." And I was like, "Well, try Hammaker, try Prince. You know, none of those work." And the manager gal, she comes around the desk, and she pulls me aside, and she's like, "Sir, are you lost?" I was like, I think I am. And we have a conversation, and I mean, it's not a proud moment. It's funny, but
I think a lot of us have non-proud moments, but it was all a part of how you become yourself and how you learn from that. I mean, maybe
life is an experience.
Maybe you won't end up in Atlantic City again. You know,
I haven't since then.
but
I don't blame you.
You know, it being that
Not even a surf.
you've been there and you're like, wow, this place kind of sucks, and
Well,
I might not come back here again.
Come to find out, I was 4 miles from our hotel, and she found a cab driver, and he laughed his ass off, and he got me back. And I got in the room, and Townsend Prince, which I'm sorry to name drop you, buddy, but he must have stayed relatively sober. Ty and his buddy from Philadelphia did not. And I walk in, he goes, well, at least you're here. And I go, well, where's the other two? And I'm not sober. And he's like, they're down on the beach talking to themselves. and they were, I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was just hilarious. And Ty won the bull riding. So, like, he financed, like, the bar tab. You know, like, I think our rooms were comped. The contractor, I think Barnes bought a room and whatever. And then we had to go back to Philadelphia. So then we went into an old shipping yard, and there was an old wooden ship. Not to, like, quote Anchorman.
You talking about Noah's Ark?
Yeah, and it was in a shipping yard, and it was permanently docked, and it was a restaurant bar, and it wasn't even open yet. There was people there, like, getting ready to open, and we went in there, and they were like...
You just see a bunch of cowboys, open up!
Yeah.
Open this door up right now!
They told us, they're like, well, you guys can't, like, get anything to eat, but we'll serve you drinks or whatever. So then we're up on the deck, and Ty, of course, is climbing the, I don't know what the hell you call it, the mast or whatever, where the crow's nest. He gets clear up there, and we're laughing our asses off, and these people are just like these drunken idiots. And then we stayed in a Motel 6, and then next day we got on planes, and I don't know where they flew to, but I flew back to Houston, and yeah.
Brother, I tell you what.
I mean, that's one of the better stories. But
if me and Danny and some other buddy of ours found a pirate ship bar, it's game over. Yeehaw, mighty, because we are taking this ship over.
It'd be like a fucking ocean.
We'd have a good time.
I sent you a reel about that
and
this
that
morning.
is exactly why I'm talking about this piece. He sent me a reel. It was like a rolling pirate ship bar. And you basically, you and your boys just act like you are sailing the seas.
yeah,
There are things out there. You can pay to go on a ship with a few ex-Marines and go over by a no-name country over what would be the east part of Africa. And when those pirates come out, you can participate.
I tell you what,
arg.
being a Marine
that's a real
myself,
thing.
you would not want to be let loose with a bunch of Marines on a pirate ship. It would get a little rowdy. You would have a bunch of divorces and baby mamas.
Well, how the hell is that any different from reality?
That's exactly what I'm saying. But okay. Anyways, down a rabbit hole. JC, how do you feel that with how far rodeo stock has become with breeding and all that, can older people get on rough
Are you
stock?
calling JC old?
Well, now, do you think that as far as the breeding and such has become, is it easier for older people to get on because of that?
No.
It's still the same, you believe?
Well, I mean, I guess in a sense you could say the more things change, the more they stay the same, but you could contradict that. Like like Powder River has a horse called Chrome that I got on him. I mean, and he's dusted plenty of guys, but he bucked me off so hard one year at the Nile. I got behind on him. I mean, this is probably like 2022, and he bedded me down, like flipped me in the air. It wasn't that I wasn't trying.
Hold on. So explain what you mean by getting behind a horse, because I know what you mean, but
Yeah, we've had this before on the podcast. People want to know
what we're talking about.
You know,
when your feet aren't beating their front feet to the ground, or at least meeting them, and the way that horse bucked, and maybe part of the way I typically ride, but like he's hitting, and I'm probably back in the kennel or somewhere in between the shit sack, and he gets me strung out, and he's coming around the corner like he's angling around to the left, and I'm trying, and I I mean, I remember I spurred myself in the ass so damn hard.
You're not supposed to.
I think these pants. I think there's a tear.
You're not supposed to squat with your spurs on. You know that.
I mean, you can't always avoid it. But we're coming around there, and I mean, I'm trying, but I know I'm in bad shape. And he flings me out there, and I lit like on the back of my head, and it didn't like I kind of skidded or slid. It wasn't like it was just a bad impact. And I mean, I got up pretty quick, but it did something to my rib cage where for 2 days I couldn't breathe right, and like it felt like somebody. I thought Mike Tyson had punched me in the back of my ribs as hard as he possibly could. Like I had never felt. I mean, I've collapsed a lung when I was 15, and that was one thing. But this was like, it's like, God damn, like maybe I'm getting old.
Every time someone mentions Mike Tyson now, when Mike Tyson fought Jake Paul, and he walked away from the camera with his bare ass to the camera, every time someone brings up Mike Tyson, I can't get that picture out of my mind.
There's so many people that did not see that.
So we were watching the fight, and my girlfriend.
I think it was staged.
I think it was staged too, but my girlfriend was like, "Did you just see that?" I'm like, "Well, I don't think I want to re-see that of 65-year-old man's ass. I don't think I want to see that again." But anyhow, let's get into rodeo rigs. Obviously you have your perfect rodeo rig, but what do you think the characteristics and what do you need in a perfect rodeo rig?
Man, I mean, I love my first gen. I love that pickup. It's been a good pickup, and camper's great. But I've been in cars. I've been in pickups with campers. I've been in conversion vans, minivans, and I would have to say that if that's all you're doing, like a pickup and a camper's great. Like shower if you're rich enough or doing well enough to have that. I never quite got to that level, I guess, but I didn't mind going a day or 2 or 3 without a shower. I mean, as long as you had a place to sleep.
Shit.
What?
I don't like even hunting camp. You go longer than that.
Yeah,
well, hunting camp's different, but
like toughen the fuck up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean,
when you're rodeoing.
Yeah. Come on, JC. You were briefed on this.
Yeah. I still have it. There's just it needs a transmission and an engine, among other things. I still have it. I don't know why I still have it, but a conversion van, a raised roof conversion van with the mood lighting in it and the wood grain trim. And
what's mood lighting for?
It's just for convenience.
Brother,
you
have piqued my interest. I am a conversion van fella.
The van is the best. A conversion van, like it may not be the hottest thing. Like
brother,
you're not going to drive 120 to a rodeo in it, and you're probably not going to hook onto a 4-horse bumper pull trailer and like set a land speed record. But like as far as just comfort and like fun, it's hard to beat a van. Like, and I remember a gal I dated from high school and in college. When I first got mine, I was at a hometown bar, and her folks were in there. They shall remain anonymous, but he asked me, he goes, JC, why in the hell do you have a van? And I said, well, Jeff, I'm 20 or what is I then? 31 years old now.
Dang.
And I figured it's time to grow up, and I just really wanted to project a family man image.
So you bought a conversion van. You bought a conversion van.
He spit his beer out and laughed at me. And
nothing speaks family like a van.
Yeah.
Like a conversion van, like an old GMC box van.
Yeah. Or being banned from being near a public school within 250
Oh yeah, you can't go near a school with that thing.
Well,
don't those come with the van?
Ice cream.
Don't those come with the van though?
What?
Mine didn't.
No?
Yeah.
Restraining order against the
Oh
schools?
yeah. It's on the title.
Yeah.
It's on the title of the van.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a partner family member assault comes with it.
Oh, a wife beater.
At least 60 days in jail.
a white beater. Yeah.
Or 360 days of unsupervised probation. I mean,
So, where was your favorite rodeo you've ever been to?
and I'm not that,
Winnebago.
I'm,
right?
no, I'm not that decisive a person. Like, I think your favorite rodeo is the last one that you won or did good at.
Well, maybe least favorite.
That's a
Then.
good one.
Least favorite one?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against Sydney, Iowa, but it
No,
was
everything.
so miserably hot there. I remember getting there. I was like, I don't know, 22 years old. I hadn't showered in 2 days. A traveling partner, I won't name him, shit out on me. He couldn't go. I don't know if he's broke or whatever. But I was living in Cody, Wyoming. And I was at the night rodeo every night, and I was in the bulldogging and the bronc riding.
They had bulldogging at the night rodeo every night
Yeah.
back then? They don't anymore.
Back then.
Well, back then they did, but we're talking. This is like back in 06.
See,
Okay, but
07.
let's
We
go back to the Iowa part. Everything against Iowa. Iowa sucks.
Iowa sucks.
No,
Sorry,
man,
Iowa
everything
people.
wrong
I'm
with
not
that state.
cussing to Iowa people. I mean, there's
No,
Not the
not the
people.
people. The state.
but
You said everything.
but I just
All
remember.
right, all right.
I just
I take it
remember-
back. People,
I
all right.
I just remember getting there, and it. I mean, it is hotter than hell, and I want to shower, and they had showers on the rodeo grounds, and it's the middle of the afternoon, and it's 100 and whatever degrees and however much humidity, and you go into this shower, and you no sooner step out of the shower and try and dry yourself off, and you're just sweating again. And I was like, this is retarded. Why would anybody want to fucking live here? Like, it,
I don't know why people live in Iowa.
and it, well, I get
well,
it. And-
cheap land and all that.
But, like,
Why would anybody want to live in Montana and not be able to afford land?
I don't know. Not to
Pretty
cuss,
views.
Not to cuss Texas, but I mean, there was rodeos I went to in Texas that I didn't really think that were that enjoyable. There was rodeos in Utah I didn't really think.
What are you talking about? Social media makes Texas like the holy grand, the holy land. Like everyone
Okay,
says
like
on social media that Texas is the
Well, it's
the
not
bee's knees. Like that's the place to be.
That's bullshit. I don't care what they say. Like, yes, they have more rodeo. There's more money. It's year round. But, like, going, let's say, from, I don't know, Conroe, Texas, just to throw one out there, to Augusta, Montana, or Red Lodge, Montana, or Livingston, Montana, on the 4th or over the 4th run, like
You can't match.
there
can't
is
match
no
it.
comparison.
No.
Well, you
in
just
the-
named two of the biggest cowboy rodeos in
Well,
Montana. Or the
I would say that.
Christmas.
and it's not to cuss Texas, like they, yeah, I mean,
And
they
I'm,
have
not, I'm
some.
not cussing Texas either. I mean, I think as a whole, you can't match anywhere in Montana on the 4th. I think that Montana has everywhere beat on the 4th.
Pretty much, because you've got
Every
Red
small
Lodge-
town.
Red Lodge, which is your smallest one now. You got Livingston, which is huge. Now. Cody, which is Wyoming, but
It's
Yeah, I don't know.
we claim Cody.
yeah,
We're
damn
only
near,
fo- we're only
damn near
40
Montana.
40 or
And-
50 miles or
I
something
don't know
like
if
that.
Cody claims Montana, but we claim Cody.
But it like I don't know, Augusta. There's just almost like a different air there. It's early
Aura?
in the year.
Aura?
Well,
no,
just
aura?
We were trying to figure that
We were
word
trying
out
to
earlier.
figure that word out earlier. I don't know what aura means.
I don't know
Aura.
if we're in English class. Or podcast, but
You feel back in elementary school?
no, not at all.
Good.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite rodeos, at least when I was younger, just to get to experience it, was Cheyenne. Like,
Ooh.
to
was
look out and see those people and like how huge that arena
Was it Frontier Days or just
it was
Frontier Days? Yeah. I would 100% say that's pretty cool. If you have experience from Frontier
Red Bluff,
Days,
California was awesome. Me and some buddies won one year. Well, me and one buddy, and then two guys we didn't even really know, but we won the heck's it called?
We can cut that part out.
Yeah. It's the Wild Ride.
we're gonna end up not cutting that part out.
No, the Wild Ride, and there's like, I can't remember what it is. I don't know what it is now. I haven't went to Red Bluff in years, but at that time it was like $5,000 added, and Josh Reynolds had this idea. He'd had it for years that we should dress up like members of KISS and have them buck. And he this was totally his brainchild. So this is like 2013, 14. And we each dress up like members of KISS. So some of us were dressed like 80s members. Like there was a mixture of clothing because we all had makeup on. But we grabbed a bareback rider that we barely even knew. But we couldn't find a bronc saddle for him.
Oh, so you were dressed like Rocky Steiner all the time?
No, we were dressed like Gene and Paul and Ace, but then James Greason, a bronc rider from Florida, got in with us, and his idea was that we all get in the chute and have them buck us out at the same time. So three of us went. Well, Mason Clemens, I think.
That sounds like a fucking train wreck.
I mean, it actually wasn't that bad. Like nothing that bad.
That was a
happened.
bullfighter's worst nightmare right there.
But I remember Josh told me. So like I had face paint on, and I had like 2 tube socks rolled up, and I had zebra print spandex, and it looked like I had a. Anyway, I won't go there.
You had been briefed. We
were drinking Crown Royal, whatever, and like
he was taking all the girls home.
Bob Tallman's telling us, he's like, "You boys better get at least 6-pack in you or whatever."
You better hide your meemaws. So hide your meemaws. JC is in the chute.
I had an inflatable guitar. Josh had a microphone in his hand. I don't know what Greason had, and Mason was out in the arena with an inflatable boombox and a blow-up doll, getting the crowd going. This made the Wrangler World of Rodeo. Like, you can go YouTube it. I bet it's still on there. But so they buck us out, and I think Josh is the only one to like stay on past the whistle. I go out there, and I'm taking my inflatable guitar and fanning my bronc over the head with it, and it tosses me off pretty quick. James rides a little further, whatever. But we win that, and you each got like a bottle of Crown Royal or whatever, and then a saddle, a custom made like tooled saddle, and like $5,000. And I was so broke at the time, and I shouldn't tell this, but Josh told me, he was like, well, because he wasn't. He was like, I'll buy their shares out because they needed money too. He's like, I'll buy their shares out of the saddle and you can pay me back later. And I was like, why? And he goes, well, I already have one. I've already won one. Someday I want you to have that.
That's fucking cool.
He still has it.
Have you ever asked to touch it?
Oh no! Every time I stay with him, and now he's got a wife and a young daughter. But I see it in his house, and I'm like, I don't know if I've worked and paid off enough of that yet. Like, I think someday I'll maybe get it, but I don't know. Like, but it was just a fun time and a cool memory.
You're gonna have to send a link of this video to him.
Yeah, he'll probably cuss my ass. But I remember Greason. I think they both needed money. James was rodeoing hard. I think Mason was too. Like, and I haven't seen either of them guys in years. It's amazing how quick small your window is.
You're still in it. You got a big ass window.
Yeah.
You've had a big ass window.
Most people don't get a rodeo.
48 years old.
Most people
Yeah.
don't get a rodeo as long as you have.
And
Well,
that's actually why I asked you
Most
that
people
question
aren't as
earlier.
ignorant as I am.
That's fair.
That's why I asked you that question earlier, because I was wondering how did you keep going so long compared to other people? Was it the stock or what the hell was it? How are you still going?
Well,
Calling them old.
You have. I mean, first and foremost, you have to want to. Like anything. in
Yeah,
life.
that's
like,
any- yeah,
you,
that's
you have to
anything.
want to.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I've had to pay down a significant amount of credit card debt, and I didn't exactly set myself up in life.
All right. So on that note, because that's a great note to ask this on, if you were able to go back and ask your 20-year-old self, or tell your 20-year-old self something, what would you tell him?
A lot.
What is the most important thing that you would tell him?
To not listen to everybody else.
I love that. I love that.
That's a good one.
That is a good
Because
one.
you can get fed way too much information, and that's vague, but life is weird. I mean, whether it's rodeo or you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to do something outside of somebody's wheelhouse. I mean, there's so many people that you think are on your side that really are not on your side.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're either jealous, insecure, whatever, because they made their own decisions in life and they're not happy with it or whatever, and they think you're just off screwing off, but nobody sees the blood, sweat, and tears, bruises, broken bones, and like the things that you go through. If you dedicate yourself to that, among other things, like, it's really easy to stand back and be like, well, it must be nice to just screw off all the time. It's like, well, no, you're not just screwing off all the time. Like, especially if you're by yourself, not only do you need to win or go in more debt, but like, you have to be on top of your shit and get yourself from point A to point B.
I think a
And
lot of
there's
it.
a lot of strain involved in that. Like I mean, like, if you're not a partier or kind of a fun haver dipshit, it's easier because you're more focused.
Oh, yeah.
But
Without a doubt, because I definitely feel like if I would have started all of this at a younger age, but then I have to stop myself and say, hell, whoa, I wouldn't be here right now doing all of this if it wasn't for all of the fuck ups I had.
yeah,
I wouldn't be here with the drive that I have if it wasn't for all of that shit leading up to this. Because I wouldn't have been like, hey, I got to lock in. I got to figure something out. I got to,
well,
knock out of it.
Life's a journey, and
Yeah.
what I learned through it, I guess, to go back to your original question, like, if I would have probably went and like got like done hypnosis and like worked on the more of the mental aspect of things, it would have, I can't even fathom, because that was what I struggled with. It wasn't like ability.
Well,
It was the mental aspect.
I think the biggest thing with anybody is 90% mental. You have to. You have to lock in mentally. You could be Arnold Schwarzenegger fit and you're messed up in the head. I mean, you're still messed up in general.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be as fit as you want and still not be locked in and either going on the right path or doing what you want to do, but it's all mental.
Yeah. But there was so many people. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to see you do well and exceed. But there's a whole bunch of people that will cut you down, say snide little things to you. I mean, and they might be in your hometown. I've experienced it. that
It could be family.
if
It could be blood.
and you might not even give a shit what they really think, but the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. So if you hear a bunch of bad and you let it in, you can believe it. You hear a bunch of good, conversely, your mind, like, I mean, we're getting into like psychology now, but no, it really is a thing.
I think it plays a big part because when I wasn't mentally right, I cared about nothing but drinking and other things
Well,
on the
when I was
weekend.
rodeoing hard, I mean, I was fucking at some random podunk rodeo. I was fucking all there mentally. When we went to, we'll go back to high school rodeo because that's a great example for me. High school rodeo. I came in, granted there was like a 7-way tie for first because we all maxed out points. But all I cared about when we got to state was partying and having fun.
Yeah,
I didn't
chasing
give a
girls.
shit about the
But
rodeo.
I think everybody has to do that though, because then there's people that either got sheltered or
That was me.
very strict. They either got sheltered or very strict, and they didn't hit their party stage until late 20s or mid 20s, and now all of a sudden they're snapping out of it in their 30s, which nothing against that. It's just later in life that they realize, hey, it's not all booze and women. Or dudes if you're into that.
Yeah. It's the learning curve is different for everybody, and like those people that somehow are blessed or just know better, maybe they're just more business minded or serious, that like have their priorities straight, I guess.
Yeah, you always hear, you gotta have your priorities straight, boy. You better have your priorities straight.
Well, all right.
It's like, all right, well, you got some, and I was actually talking to
Well,
my
how
dad
are you
the other
supposed
day.
to do that? Like
When you're
if there's
20
a
years
sea
old.
of ass in front of you,
When you're 20
and
years
like
old,
you like to have fun. I mean, you can still be focused and want to like do good, but I mean, like,
your priorities ass.
No, my dad was talking
are
to
you
me
supposed
about
to
this
just
the
lock
other
yourself
day.
in your camper?
He said, I try to tell you a lot of things, but some things you just gotta figure out on your own. You just gotta do it, mess up, and it's hard lessons. A lot of things you have to learn hard
Well,
lessons.
it kind of goes back to a lot of good judgment comes from having a lot of bad judgment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
experience is like
Bad
your greatest
experiences
teacher.
turn into good judgments.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our local rodeo grounds, Red Lodge Fairgrounds. If you are from Carbon County or been around Carbon County, you probably have some sort of memory of Red Lodge Fairgrounds. JC, you want to follow up on that?
I mean, I kind of grew up in that arena and watched it get rebuilt. My dad drugged me up there as a kid. We had to rebuild it, work on it, clean it. And I can remember watching, like Deb Greeno, Dan Mortensen, Mark and Marvin Garrett, whoever was traveling with them guys, Larry Sandvik, all these names roll through your idols, your rodeo idols and stuff. And it was just kind of like a magical time. And then they'd have team opens up there and stuff. But I remember playing in that arena as a kid, like in the buck and shoots, like me and Travis Stoball, or Maverick Bushnell was probably a little too young, but he probably did the same thing. But just imagining or whatever, when maybe you might be in there someday in front of that 4th of July crowd, whether it was 2nd of July or 3rd of July, but
It was all Cowboy Christmas.
yeah, and thinking, man, what if I get to go out there someday and make that crowd roar and like do good?
In your head, you
Yeah.
daydreamed of
Yeah, and
leaving the buck and shoots at 4th of July,
Oh.
Red Lodge Rodeo.
all the time. And I mean, it might as well have been the damn NFR.
Pretty much.
And then when I finally got to do it, and I'm not saying I was always successful, I mean, but it was to get to experience that. Like, there was a couple years in there where I mean, it was almost deafening. Like it was, because you're focused on what you're doing, so it's just like background noise. But I remember one year, I think I had Little Jean Jacket of Birches there, and I won't go all the way into that. I think it was only like 76 or 77 points, and I don't even think I.
You didn't go 90 at Red Lodge Rodeo at your hometown rodeo.
I mean, that'd just be too Cinderella story.
I mean, I won't go into the politics of things, but there's a whole other story there. But I remember I walked back and Josh Reynolds was still rodeoing with me. And I mean, he'd made the NFR. Like, that guy had done way more than I ever have. And he was entered in Livingston that night, and I wasn't. Like, I got drawn out of it, but he had a good horse drawn, and I said, well, we better get going. And he said, why in the hell would we leave? He said, you just left every pair of panties in this whole house wet, and you want to go, and you're not even entered? And I said, well, you got a good horse drawn. And he just shook his head. Well, we went. He was like 83. I think, like, I don't know, took second or third or something. And we turned around and went back to Red Lodge and party.
All right, so this is a great note. Do you want to explain to the channel Cowboy Christmas in your best representation? Cowboy Christmas.
Which year?
Just as like as a whole, for people that don't know what Cowboy Christmas is, given the best representation of what it is.
To my recollection, it starts in late June. Like, we would go typically to like Pleasant Grove, Utah. Maybe Lehigh was in there, and then we might go to Thermopolis, Hardin, Augusta, day or two off, and then Red Lodge, Livingston. Some guys might go to Cody. You might go to Eugene, Oregon. You might go to Mandan, North Dakota. You might go to Kildare, North Dakota. What else is in there?
So basically, a bunch of rodeos packed in very tightly. So you're riding and getting in the car and leaving.
Yeah, he's trying to say, there's a lot of money up for grabs in a short amount of time.
Well,
you got to hit every one.
Window Rock, Arizona. I mean, it's all over, and you're trying to set yourself up the best you can and just go wherever you got the best chance or whatever. But it's fun, but it's not always that enjoyable to get in a rig and just go from rodeo to rodeo and just haul ass and be under that kind of stress. It's just a lot nicer to kind of, I mean, if you get off to that, more power to you. But like, I guess it's a lot more fun if you're not the one driving.
Yeah.
I mean, if you catch,
That's fair.
If you're on the I-90 on 4th of July weekend, you better watch out.
There are some
rodeo rigs that are doing 100 on the interstate trying to get to the next one.
Yeah.
You better watch out. And it's like a mixture of like beat up old trucks and 450 Platinums with bloomers hooked to them.
$750,000 rigs.
Yeah.
Barrel racer land.
Yes. Hey,
shout out Kenny Fiedler.
No one's ever complained about that.
Well, I mean, I think it'd be great if you can live that way.
Oh, brother,
yeah.
if you could live like Taylor Sheridan, would you not?
I don't know who Taylor Sheridan is.
He's the guy that made
do you mean?
show Yellowstone.
Oh,
I'll have to
I've
cut
never
that
fucking
out.
watched Yellowstone. Yeah, we're cutting
God
that
damn
out.
it. That was a good line, damn it.
1923.
Never watched it.
all the West 1880 or no, 1923.
All right.
1923. Yes, you're correct.
No, 1923.
Here, how's this? So I got a question for you.
What?
What's the O-ring on your middle finger?
Well,
Show the camera.
so it was just a joke, and it's part of my sense of humor, but a friend of mine that I work for, he's going to have a baby, and I found it in the parking lot at his ranch one day, and I stuck it on, and he goes, what the hell are you wearing that for? And I said, well, it's on the middle finger. And I said, some people wear an engagement ring, some people wear a wedding ring, and I wear an O-ring.
That's gotta be the dumbest and funniest joke I've ever heard.
Take that.
And you're still wearing it.
I am. Well, I told him. He asked me the other night.
He sticks to it.
Helped him doctor a calf, and he said, "You're still wearing that?" And I said, "Well, I feel like it's almost like a part of my trademark now, or something. You know, like maybe I could start something. If you just slip it down to the first knuckle or second knuckle."
I thought you were gonna say like, "Oh, if I wear this on my middle finger, it's gonna be a boy," or if I don't wear this on my middle finger, it's gonna be a girl. But no, you had to come out and say it's just an O-ring.
I thought he was going to say it's for the one that got away or something.
There's probably plenty of those, huh, JC?
No, he's the one that got away.
Well, I mean, there was some that got away. Some of them I couldn't run fast enough, but most, yeah. I'll edit myself now. You dodge a lot of bullets on the road.
That's true.
What was it?
That is way too truthful.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you
I'm not
something, and I don't
even
even know
started on
anymore.
that.
I don't know if the world's ready for that one.
No. Yeah, when are we going to see a JC Jr.?
When you get one, stick around.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah,
I've made
no
it
shit.
to 41 years old without doing that.
And that might be an accomplishment.
Why would I start now?
That's fair.
Why not?
If you look at statistics, I hate
I
this.
piss on
I hate to
stairs.
sound cynical, but if you look at the statistics for marriage, I think it's like, what, 1 in 3 end in divorce and less than
He already
7
is.
years. 7 years. So
It's not ended yet.
why would you sign a legally binding contract to lose half your shit?
I didn't say you had to get married.
It just doesn't sound like solid business.
We
plan.
weren't talking about marriage. We were talking
Oh, we're not
about
talking.
JC Jr.
Whoa. When did we get business involved in this? No.
We're talking about JC Jr., not a marriage.
Well, that's another. I think a kid would be pretty cool, but I just don't really want what comes with it.
Yeah, I think you're meaning like not as far as like the kid part, but it's, yeah, I get.
Oh, don't get me wrong. If you had a good, solid gal that like,
Yeah,
but man, there is plenty of them out there that I wouldn't give a bucket of piss for their future.
now before I met the one I'm with now, I went through a stage where like, wow, I'm never doing that again. Never doing that again. It was so sour that
Famous last words. Then you go and do it.
I was so sour that I was like, never again. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna be a JC forever. Be 41 years old and just living the best life. But
Hey, it really doesn't bother me. I mean,
no, I mean it's everybody's, your choice. I mean, if you can make it by yourself, I mean, why not?
I honestly thought I was going to be fucking single
I
forever.
thought so too.
I think
so, too.
everybody did.
what are you, 25?
Yes. And I had it
I
chalked
knew you
up.
weren't going to be single the rest of your life. You weren't raised that way.
I wasn't. Well,
Nope.
hell, that's a different
You're
topic.
a born breeder.
You got a Hildebrand last name.
Yeah.
That's born to breed.
I'm the last
You're
person
like,
to have a hill.
you're like a registered Black Angus bull.
Everybody wants a piece of this.
Yeah. And you just go to shit when you turn 3 years old. 30. Excuse me.
3:30, same thing. There's a 3 in there. But no. I was planning on just having my fun, rodeoing my ass off.
Oh, look, we're all shaking right now. Thanks, JC, for hitting the camera.
Yeah.
I didn't hit the camera.
Your foot did.
No, it didn't.
All right,
You
so
move your
just
goddamn
so
mic.
people know, we have a rope and a lasso and fencing wire holding up our middle camera. So,
I turned it off of it.
Some pretty ranchy shit.
oh yeah.
It's high quality. But no, I thought I was just going to be me for ever long as I needed till the one that came in. How she talked me into this, I don't know.
I do have to say that with the right woman, because I can say this because...
Are we still on camera?
Are we still recording?
Jesus.
Okay.
Come on.
I do have to say that the right woman will lead you in the right path. Now, a lot of people, I don't know. It's like the crazy hot scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there is something to that. I mean, I can't ever say that I've ever necessarily chosen correctly. I mean, I've maybe had some opportunities, but who you choose can dictate a lot of what happens in your life. And I made some, I'll just be frank, extremely poor decisions in that department. I mean, I got through it.
And there might be a lot of people watching this that,
and I'm not going to name anybody, but
but there might be a lot of people watching this, like
their initial start
either they're single and they're like, man, I won't find the right one. I mean,
they'll find you.
I think that I truly believe that you have to not be looking.
Yeah,
you have to not be looking.
You have to quit looking,
yes.
and they'll find you.
You have to be focused on yourself.
Yes, you have to be focused on yourself. You have to make yourself great before you can find a great one.
But all right, here's a
But boy, in the meantime, you can sure find a lot of
mediocres.
No, just it's from one end of the spectrum to the other.
So here's a devil's advocate side of it. You know, you cannot be great until you find the one that makes you great.
Absolutely. I mean, but you know, you could be.
Isn't that kind of putting your responsibility on somebody else?
It's not putting your responsibility on someone else. I think that if you find the right person, they will. Hold on, we're gonna have to pause here because my words are not working.
I think it's kind of opportunistic, Danny.
We're not cutting that out. We're not cutting that out, by the way.
My words don't work.
My words have stopped working. It is the buckskins that has made my words to stop working.
My words also say that like you'll never be rich until you find the gal that has money.
Oh yeah, well you could have $1 million and still be poor.
No, so what I'm trying to say is,
you're not wrong.
If you find the right woman, like yes, you can try. Like I'm not saying you can't be an awesome fucking human being. You can't be successful. You can't be everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get what you're saying.
As soon as you find the right one, which I believe I have, and you believe you have,
yep,
and eventually you will.
Eventually you will.
Yeah, it's a 93 Dodge pickup,
and she's a beaut.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah.
But once you find the right one, you know, she'll make you want to be that much better than you already wanted to be.
She's the fire beneath the firewood.
Yeah,
I mean, you could have firewood set up in a teepee and it still won't light.
Is it still going to be on the cast?
Yeah.
I mean, are people really wanting to listen to the three of us talk about relationship advice?
I'm in my first relationship.
25. How old are you?
27.
27, 41. You know.
I don't know, JC. We might get 100,000 views off this. We never know.
Yeah. Or a bunch
and if you've watched this far, and if you've watched this far, you better subscribe and like and comment. All right, because you are committed at this point.
Yeah, 2 guns.
You bet.
One
for each of you. You bet.
All day long.
All right, put it on me, Danny. All right, thanks for watching. We will have JC on here again. We're just coming up on an hour mark. It'll probably be a little less than an hour. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, we're not putting a code in this one. Actually, you know what? You want to? What do we got to...
JC gets to do the big banner. Say, this is the code. What's your code,
What's your favorite catchword?
My favorite catchword?
I don't know. Anything.
Say something. It's on you now. Whatever you say is the code.
You don't want me saying that stuff.
All right. I got one. Right. Put it on me. Rodeo Rig. Rodeo Rig, 10% off your entire order. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Buster Hyman.